This is the fifth video in a series to show you how to use CleverPsych, which is software for psychologists to manage their practices. Now, let's have a look at the file system. When you download CleverPsych, you find you get three folders set up. The first is a CleverPsych folder, which has actually got all the software and the manual and that sort of thing. You also get a Clever Demo, which is a demonstration database plus other files, and also the Clever Data folder is set up. Now, the Clever Data folder initially is actually just a copy of the Clever Demo, except the database is cleaned out, so you have no clients in there. Subsequently, if you download an update, you'll find you'll get a new version of the software and a new CleverPsych folder, a new Clever Demo, but it won't touch your Clever Data folder, except that when you run up the first time it may do some changes and updates and so on to your Clever Data information. So all your data's in the Clever Data folder, so we must emphasize you should be backing this folder up occasionally. Write it to a DVD or a removable drive or something and store it somewhere else. Now, if we have a look at what's in the data folders, you've got a whole lot of different internal folders. Now we have a backups folder. What happens is we take regularly this copies taken of your database, so that if you have a problem, you can always put to the database back from this backup copy. And there's copies made every time you start up the system, and also one in the middle of the night if you leave your system running. Now, we have had a case where a fan failed on our computer in the middle of summer, it overheated, and we had some problems writing to the disk, and we got a corrupted database, but we just copied back from one of these backup databases. And there's also backups made of files and things as you edit them. There's a config folder. This is where all your configuration files are, which you can edit normally from the menu, but you can do it directly here. So here's the main configuration one, for example, and you could open it with, say, Notepad, and this is your configuration file. It's just the same as you've seen previously. There's a templates, and this is where all your templates are for all your letters. So you can edit these with either Word or you can use WordPad if you want to. And here's all your templates. So this is where you go to modify your letters and to set up your own letters. There's also templates for the reminder you send out to remind people, and so on. There's a database folder, and this is where your actual database sits. It's a file, and as I said, if you have a problem with this, and we hope you don't, you can always replace this with one of the backup ones out of the database, out of the backup folder. Read the manual first if you have to do something horrible like that. There's also a clients folder. Now, what happens is every time you create a new client, we also set up a folder for them. So if you go back to our thing here, we've got Donald Duck and Daisy Duck and so on. Under the D's under here, you get a folder for each of the ducks and also the dwarf. And within this, we store things like the letters that you've sent out for that person and you've generated. And if you like, you can use this area yourself for putting other information into. Okay. And the final one is the scripts area. Now, when you start up one of these icons to start things up, if you have a look at the properties, you'll find that it actually references a file, and the file it references there is in this scripts directory. And so, for example, the one that runs up the CleverPsych main system that you will use is this one. So I can, if you like, you can edit it, and you may not want to watch this. It may never want to change any of this, but so it tells you like where your data is in Clever Data and where the software is and so on. But there's a couple of interesting things here. One is your diary. So you can change the range of hours that appear in your diary, and you can also change the intervals. We do our appointments, so we usually set 30-minute intervals, but you can make 15-minute intervals or so on. But you need to make a decision once, and then probably certainly not reduce the interval, because you may have trouble with lining things up. There's also a thing called the look and feel. We usually use a standard Windows Java look and feel, but there are some others here if you want to change colors and do some other things. This is described in the manual again. So something else you can do in setting up your system. Okay, and I think that's probably round about it for this stage. So good luck with the system. As I said, you can download it, you can try it out. We ask you to pay us a nominal amount, which we set to typically about the recommended cost by the APS for a 1-hour appointment. We effectively give you the software, but as you can see, we spend a lot of time setting up websites, answering emails and this sort of thing, so we just ask you to give us a little bit of towards that. But you don't have to pay until you've got 100 clients in your system, and of course by that time you're well on the way to making your first million anyway. You can contact us at support@cleverpsych.com.au. There's more information always on the website, and we're always happy to hear from you if you've got any suggestions about the system.